The Fubu Radio.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Keeyzo's Corner. I got the legendary, representing the West, Kokane in the building. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
What's good, King? I'm feeling good, man. God is great.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm gonna jump into, like I told you, I'm gonna jump into a bunch of questions, try to get you to, spit some stuff that people might not know about you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know your pops. He wrote Papa was a Rolling Stone. How did growing up with that kind of music royalty shape you as an artist?
Well, my father, Jerry Buddy Long, was an intricate part of the Motown sound. He actually wrote the music, orchestration director. He was considered a musical genius over there. He was with part of the Funk Brothers with Uncle Paul Rising. And, the Funk Brothers played everything.
Uh-huh.
So in terms of Jerry Long, when you hear the string progressions and different other things, he brought the string progressions and different other orchestrate things to Motown.
Right.
So his legacy is over 600 different musical oppositions at a time where it wasn't no drum beats. The man plays 18 different instruments. Just an incredible individual. And my uncle was Willie Hutch. He was real big in the 70s, did I Choose You, wrote I'll Be There, Brothers Gonna Work It Out. Incredible soul singer. Rest in peace, Uncle Willie Hutch. And my cousin is Code 187 from one of the most prolific groups of all times, not just from the West, but in general, that's Above the Law. So music has always been embedded into my DNA. It's like I had the cheat code. You feel me?
Yeah. So you was almost destined for this.
Man, I was knee high to a third. Man, I remember in the 70s walking into a studio with my father, and the running board looked like a spaceship. So I was always kind of like a little space baby.
Right.
And then being able to grow up in the 70s, with soul, funk, and music, had also a chance to see, Parliament at the Coliseum. And I come from a music background, but when Parliament came, George Clinton, Funkadelic, and Bootsy came, I was just like, I was all in.
Right.
But the ironic part of it, years later, not only James Brown was very influential to Parliament, but just as equal was the Funk Brothers, who my father was a part of. So it was kind of leading me the universe to mess with George Clinton anyway. And he is one of my mentors as well, just as well as Code 187, my father. And yeah, I come from that humble surrounding, started my career in 1984. Did tons of talent shows. My cousin, Code 187, from Bubble also. And I was going to get my break in 1988. I was about to sign with the homie DJ Bobcat, LL Cool J's DJ and family member. But that didn't work out, So, we respectfully parted because he had to go on tour, and I was like, I need to get in where I fit in. So I had a chance of a lifetime, man. Once Above the Law got put on in 88 and 89, that's when my cousin, Code 187, did a 3-song demo for me in the town we call Pomona, California. And it was shot through a production company named Laylaw, who's a contributing member of NWA and is responsible for bringing Above the Law to the table. So rest in peace, Laylaw. And once Easy heard it in 89, it only took me 2 weeks to get signed, brother. Because he felt I was different. He liked the name Kokane, Kokane. That means when you hear my funk, warning, listening may become addicting. And I was coined that name by my cousin Cole 187 because he said, man, you kind of bipolar with the funk because you do Rick James, you do George Clinton, and all of it. And you bust, you an MC, and it's the best of both worlds. You coming from the South Bronx and being the West Coast out here. He was like, man, you need to be called Cocaine. And when I heard it, I said, let's run it.
Yeah. Can the Bronx claim you then? Because I know you moved out there when you was young. You was a baby out there. So,
Oh man, I was a baby. Um, but then in '89 or '90, I think '89, I had a chance to go over to London Brixton. The
mhm,
only NWA tour was the only one where Easy, all the guys there prior to Ice Cube leaving.
mhm,
And it was amazing, man, to go overseas for the first time with NWA because it was like thousands and thousands of people at the airport.
yeah,
Uh, Being able to finish the concert, run out the side of the building, and
mhm,
hundreds of people was chasing you down. I've never experienced that before, and that's what Easy opened up the door for. He was our West Coast Russell Simmons.
right.
You know what I mean? And the misconception about Easy is that he was never driving down any street in the movie crying at a bulletin board
Mhm,
in the NWA movie. You feel me?
yeah,
He was a businessman, a shrewd businessman, and he had ideas. He had speakers. He had rims. He had everything back then that Dre is doing now.
right.
So Eric was an innovator, man. He was a visionary, and at a time while I was telling you the West Coast Russell Simmons in 1990, and that's my humble surroundings on meeting my brother Mike Burrell because he above the law, cocaine, NWA, and all of us. We was his first project when he was over there with Hank Carwell at Epic,
Right.
and they used to argue about my name because I had to wait a year for my stuff to come out because Above the Laws Living Like Hustlers came out under Ruthless Records in 1990.
Mhm,
So once I came out, um, the FCC laws was coming down on was coming to Epic Records say you better not say cocaine name on the radio, was boo boo. And we was like run it because there wasn't no secret to controversy with NWA. Niggas with attitudes. Well, cocaine is
He came out the gate with that one.
yeah, like niggas with attitudes. And they turned around and changed my name to Who Am I because they were scared. And I got a funny story where Mike Burrell, Mr. Hank Carwell, and Tommy Tola used to argue, like, man, we can't put this name out under cocaine. We gonna get sued. And they was real scared. But that door being shut was very instrumental in what I'm doing now as far as working hard. Because the guy said, man, at that time, Epic Records, there was the distribution for Ruthless. So they said, come on my project, man. Come on our project. So I had a chance to co-write some things on the Niggas for Life Evil for Zagging album.
Mhm,
I co-wrote Easy E's 10 Gangster Commandments on the Appetite of Destruction. That was actually the second single after 100 Miles of Running.
mhm,
Um, and I didn't really care back then what they thought about because in 91, I mean, at the end of their run in 92, well, 91, man, I was double platinum.
wow.
So I didn't really care back
Right.
then. I was like Chuck D. Because the fuck about a goddamn radio.
Nah, I hear you. So let me ask you, let's set the record straight.
Hmm.
Who really started the G-Funk era?
It was some what no G Funk era.
No?
Not at all. This would happen. When we came to Ruthless Records, we recorded this studio called Audio Achievements.
Hmm.
That's the NWA studio.
Hmm.
In '89. Back then, Jewel, rest in peace, Death Row, and Warren G. but primarily Warren G. Because back then Dr. Dre and Michel'le got a pad. But for some reason, Dr. Dre didn't want Warren G to stay with him, so he asked Code 187 from
Mm-hmm.
Bugler Law, would you stay with him? And I stayed with Hutch too. That's his name, Code 187.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't want to call ourselves Parliament babies because we're gangsters. Some real ones. We got bricks and everything back then. It was different back then.
Right.
So we turned around and called ourselves this gangster funk. This is G-Funk. So
Okay.
under that imprint, when you hear like you'll go to Warren G's stuff and on the Breakfast Club or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
they would always ask that question. So you created G-Funk? He would stop them and say, hold on. I didn't get that. I didn't make that up. I created G-Funk Era as a spinoff of the originals. But the original creators of G-Funk, number one, it was created by all of us. But the primary person that was leading the way was my cousin Cole 187 as the creator. And from above the law, KMG, myself, KMG, rest in peace. Gomac just passed, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
And Layla and myself, DJ Chaos, we are what you call the architects of the original style of music. So back in 1990, prior to the Death Row situation, Warren, you used to always say, man, I want to bring this cat to the table named Slim, named Snoop Rock-Ski, and my homeboy Nathaniel is after coming out of the armed services.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought them up to our studio. And back then, Suge was my manager back then. You know, I'd never had one. People always see the things about Suge. Never had problems with Miriam Knight. Hold on right quick. So when he brought him up to the studio, I'm talking about Snoop Dogg. It was on La Cienega and Centinela in Inglewood. Remember like it's yesterday. They auditioned Snoop and Nathaniel, which is Nate Dogg, rest in peace. They auditioned. We were gonna put them on. Code 187 was because a lot of people don't know. Snoop and Nate Dogg was gonna be Ruthless Records recording artists.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't no death row.
Right.
Do you feel me? So once we done that, um, we heavily influenced those gentlemen. We influenced all of them, basically. We
Mm-hmm.
influenced Dre. And Dre influenced us, but outside of the relationship we have with Dre, um, we influenced so many because what Warren G was able to do, he was able to take our sound and some of the stuff that we did and flip it his way and really take it to the masses because he helped save Def Jam at one point. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where G-Funk started from. So media is slowly waking up, which is a good thing. The timing is impeccable. It's on point. But yeah, the architects of G-Funk is above the law and cocaine, period.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you, what was the most iconic studio session that you ever been a part of, and who was in the room and what went down?
And I got too many. One, I'll go through it. One, seeing NWA record
Mm-hmm.
because it was magical.
Right.
Dr. Dre's a genius. Um, but Easy, he was the gangster. He
Right.
was the one in control. So it was hilarious seeing Dr. Dre and Easy E have argue, but friendly argument.
Right.
And Dre would be, I want to put that on. And then Easy would be like, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit. Run that shit, nigga. You gonna put this shit on like this. Dre didn't like that.
Yeah.
Them niggas used to argue over creative differences. You could go look it up right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing just seeing who, going back now, Warren G was just around us. It was barely learning the MPC3 that Cole 187 and Dre showed him.
Mm-hmm.
Jewel, that was on death row, rest in peace. She was around. Suge, it was just amazing because you got to remember, Death Row ain't no difference than a mirror of Ruthless Records.
Yeah.
Because of the success of Ruthless Records is the reason why from that tree you have Death Row. You even have 50 Cent. You even had a white boy Eminem. Wouldn't be nothing if Easy E didn't put up his dope money to make this shit happen.
Right.
So without Easy and Jerry Heller, because he had that Jewish line, love him or hate him,
Mm-hmm.
is the reason why we're here today. And so many people from a suppressed environment in ghettos and hoods were able to get put on and them lives saved. So Easy saved lives, brother. He was an incredible individual. That's one situation. And then another situation is seeing Tupac. You know, that was my little bro. We had mutual business partners, a cat named Atrium, who managed the Digital Underground. And at a time when Pac was getting put on the same song, he always used to come to L.A. and migrate.
Mm-hmm.
Besides messing with a lot of cats in Oakland, he
Right.
used to come mess with Above the Law, Cocaine, and Laylaw. That
Mm-hmm.
was our little bro. You can even look it up. 1992, Cocaine, Tupac, and Code 187 performing at the Jamaica House in Hollywood in 92 when he had the Nefertiti chain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he came up to that show after doing something like Poetic Justice or something, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it was. So Pac was our family. And seeing him in the studio at a time where you never heard the word G-Funk, he was like, man, what's that style of music y'all do? Hutch said, we call it G-Funk. And then that's when you first heard the term that we created when Pac said on Black Mafia Life, I'm from the G-Funk, but you can call it what you want. Now go check that video out with a Above the Law and check out the timeline. And it'll blow your mind, man, because a lot of people just don't know, man, because it built up so much heat for many moons doing what it do. And last, just being around those doghouse sessions,
Mm-hmm.
it was incredible. Doing 8 songs on the last meal, 11 songs on his new group, the East Siders, Deuces and Trays. Over 60 something songs over there at the Doghouse from 1999 to a 2005 period. And
Mm-hmm.
also being able to, back when we was recording Chronic 2001, Dr. Dre was, see, Dr. Dre is a perfectionist. He'll make you do shit 1,000 times. He used to make Easy, when 116, Easy E would take a week to do that because Dre is a perfectionist, man.
Yeah.
And when I went in there, he said, man, I want you to get on this track. It's called LA Niggas,
Mm-hmm.
with Exhibit, DeForest, just a lot of cats on there.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went in there, I was recorded at record one, and I went in there and I did it for the first time, first take Jake. And Dr. Dre's, you can look it up with Dre, Snoop, and myself in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Dre said that never happened before. The part that, a person comes in and just one take Jake. So,
Mm-hmm.
man, that really, kissed me on my ego. You feel me? Like, God dang. And it came out right in LA. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those is incredible. And also, I didn't go to the Puffy parties. You understand me?
You
I
wasn't
didn't.
indulging?
I didn't, but at a time while my name was just ringing bells because only two people was coming to get a lot of hooks from is me and Nate Dogg, rest in peace.
Right.
And I had a chance to hook up with P. Diddy,
Mm-hmm.
but we had mutual friends through Hawk, and we knew them a while back in the '90s. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to talking, and everything was cool. So he said, "I want to fly you out. Let me cash you out first." Gave me 30 bands. Business was good. Flew out to Miami on the island. Who was there at the time? Faith Evans was married to some dude from Compton. Rob was there, Black Rob, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Just everybody was there. Nice environment. So he said, "Man, I heard you work fast." I said, "Yeah." So he shot the beats to me. He came back in a couple hours, and I was done. He said, "When you gonna start?" I said, "Man, I'm done." So the song that we did is on a project called "The Soccer Continues," and it's a song that I sing called "Lonely."
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like I'm lonely. Feel like I'm by myself. Take that. Man, so that was exciting. But it tripped me out when we go to a club in Miami and I'm like, oh shit, this puppy. It's cool. And he pull out this ashtray, and I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but it was some pills. He
Mm-hmm.
popped a couple. He said, "You want one?" Nah, I'm cool. I'm a weed smoker. So we go to the club, and the club is popping in Miami on the first floor. Then we go to the second floor, it's popping. Then on the third floor, it just was too uncomfortable for me, man, because nah, nigga, I can't do dudes in the two piece, this dude in the Speedo. I'm like, I'm looking at Puppy and I'm looking at Hulk and I'm looking at Puppy and I'm like, Nigga, where you got me at?"
Yeah.
So they dropped me off. And I didn't think twice about it, man. I did not think twice about allegations and coming up and different things.
Yeah.
I went. I wasn't drinking that night with him at the round table either. I wasn't doing none of that. Not to say he spiked the drinks,
Yeah.
but that was my experiences with some of it's 10 tons more, man. Cypress Hill, Q, Nipsey Hussle,
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of rich history, man.
Yeah. It's funny. When they talk about Puffy parties, I've been to
Mhm.
a few of them.
Mhm.
And the ones I've been to was some of the best parties I've ever been to. Now I
No
didn't
doubt.
after party or, it wasn't no other type of parties that I've been to with them, but
Mhm.
the parties that I've been to with them,
Mhm.
they were the best parties I ever been to.
Yeah, the same thing my boy Earl say, E40, and
Yeah,
I'm cool with it. Yeah, I mean,
40, that's my guy right there, man.
yeah, Earl the Pearl and shit. So I'm saying in retrospect that it's what you do.
I
You
got a
know what I
funny,
mean?
E40 story, right? Me and
Yeah.
we got cool for me getting, because I was the one that always went to the videos and put the clothes on the artists and all that stuff.
Right.
We had got cool. And, I'm saying to myself, I'm like, damn, I can't believe I'm cooler than Calvin with E40. You know what I'm saying? This dude,
Earl.
one of the biggest artists on the West Coast. So
Mhm.
one day, I don't know, you remember they had that issue at the Source Awards.
Yeah.
They got into that little fisticuff in the Source Awards.
Mhm.
The dude that I think his name is Mac something. Mac
Yeah.
Man, something like
Mac.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
so I had met Mac previously, and he just walked up and started talking to me. So I got to
Yeah.
know him like that.
Mac Minister.
Mac Minister, yes, yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't somebody like we hung out and we did this and that with, right?
Hmm.
One day I'm at the video. E40 rolls up to the video, him and his brother. And he's like, hey, player, let me talk to you for a minute. So I'm like, what's up, man? He said, walk with me, walk with me. So we walking all the way in the back of the video. And then next thing you know, it's like nobody back there. And I'm looking at him. I'm walking with him. He ain't saying nothing, but his brother's behind me. And I'm
Hmm.
looking at I'm like, yo, what's about to go down? Like, where these niggas taking me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
get to the back, and he turn around, he's like, yeah, man, um, I see you be with old boy, me and old boy got issues. I just want to know if me and you cool. And I was like, yeah, we cool. I don't even know old boy like that. You know what I'm saying? Me and you,
Yeah.
I know you. I don't really know him. So you ain't got to worry about that. And then he was like, all right, player. And then he just turned around and we walked back. So I'm saying to myself, as I'm walking back, I'm like, yo, what the fuck was about to happen? Like,
Weird vibes and
yo,
shit.
it was the weirdest shit because I'm like I wasn't scared, but I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, because I
Hmm.
trusted him enough that to walk with him. You know what I mean? I wasn't scared, but E40, that's my guy, man. I always think back on that. I'm like, damn, if I'd have said the wrong thing, would I have got my ass whooped back there? Because he took me where nobody was at. It was nobody back there. And
Oh
I,
yeah, he was trying to check your temperature.
yeah, 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 we was cool because we saw each other after that. He came into the office, like, we've been cool ever since. Let me ask you, I know you introduced the Sweet Talk character on NWA's album, right?
Right,
Um,
and Black Mafia like
yeah,
above
yeah.
the law.
Well, what inspired that alter ego?
Donald Goins. It's one of my favorite authors, man.
Right.
Donald Goins, and you know, Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch.
Huggy, man. I was telling this little kid about Starsky, not a little kid, but he was about 30 or something. I was telling him about Starsky and Hutch, and he was like,
Mhm.
"Who? What?" I was like, "Man, you got to go back and look at
Man,
some of this. Fast and Furious ain't nothing but the Dukes of Hazzard. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Like I learned how to drive watching the Dukes of Hazzard.
yeah, yeah.
I
Man.
almost
Watching Daisy Dukes too.
Yeah, I almost died doing some shit that they did in the on that TV show. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Almost passed away. I know you've been sampled from a lot of artists around the world. What's the weirdest place that you ever heard your music?
It's a lot of stuff. Tanzania, Africa.
Mhm.
It's touching the four corners of the earth.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Because I know for us, we would go places and see people, like I remember the first time going to Japan
Mhm.
to open up a store out there. And
Yeah.
when I got out there, I'm like, damn, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
it looked like Manhattan. It looked like a place like young kids dressed dreadlocks, baggy jeans, hip hop shit. So I was like, wow.
Yeah,
And then everybody was out there for us with the FUBU shit, so it was crazy. Um,
that's dope.
you know, all right, I got a couple more for you. What's the one thing that people misunderstand about cocaine?
Um, is that cocaine that ain't on cocaine?
Yeah,
Nah, they see me, it built up so much mystique and mystery for years, which is a blessing for me because there's pros and cons and everything. I tell, a lot of people say you're underrated, you're this and that. Um, my thing is that as long as you continue to grow, stay consistency and a positive rhythm, things always manifest for you. I tell everybody, man, vegetables and flowers, it grow out of cow shit, manure.
Mhm.
So fortunately, diamonds are not made by feathers, they're made by pressure. So I want people to understand that adversity could be your best friend.
Right.
Learning from cocaine. I started my career in '84, and here I am, over 30 some odd years later, and still continuing. Because the bottom line is, I want people to understand this: love what you do or don't do it at all.
Facts.
You got to be able to endure different things, and because my passion for music was already embedded into my chromosomes, you
Mhm.
weren't gonna stop me from doing music. You gotta realize at a time when Easy E passed in 1995, more dark periods of my life because money's got frozen up, assets, things was at disarray
Mhm.
when Tamika and Ron Sweeney grabbed the company at that time.
Right.
And I needed to feed my family, you know what I'm saying? Because I had twin boys. And 9 times out of 10, people would pick me up, whether it's E40, Too Short, to my comrades. And it created a safe haven for me to put food on the table.
Right.
And that was a beautiful thing because the following year, I lost my homie Pop. And then once you're dealing with death and once you're dealing with losing people that are close to you, it just puts you in a numb situation. So a lot of times I used to numb my pain with substances for a short period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when I got back into a right situation, free and clear, we linked back in, squashed the beef because the ruthless and death row beef was over with. And I was able to move on from there from 1998 to 1999. So my thing is, man, any artist out there, be in it for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. A lot of people just into this chasing thing, but I never chase, man. You're supposed to pursue, but
Right.
never chase.
Right.
So my message overall, just to reiterate, really love what you do or don't do it at all.
Right. Hold on, thought 1 second.
Hmm. Time you guys, sir. Part three. Part three.
All right. So I got a few more for you. You stay true to your sound while others chase trends. Nowadays people chase trends
Hmm.
and you've been
Hmm.
solid with your sound. How do you
Hmm.
navigate authenticity in a clout chasing culture?
Well, I stay in my own lane, man, and I'm like white boy Mormons on 10 speeds.
Hmm.
Just because somebody shut the door don't mean they go to the next one and knock on and say, "Do you want this Mormon Bible?" We got to look at the fact that they real hustlers.
Hmm.
So using that analogy, we got to be a hustler about it. There's not going to be good days all the time.
Right.
There's going to be some not so good days.
Yeah.
But because, I believe in God, I believe, Allahu Akbar, I believe in God, and my family, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been on one, that's the real flex. Yeah, the accolades is cool. Yeah, it's cool.
Right.
But I've always been humble on the rumble, and the real flex is the simple fact. I've been with my woman since 84, married 36 years, and got 8 kids, 4 boys and 4 girls by that one woman, no illies. You
Right.
know what I mean? So it's to show, yeah, we can do music, we can do this, but you got to have some type of um, ground, your feet on the ground, because if you don't ground your wire, life is going to shock your ass. And mine was my family and God that put me through some crazy shit.
Right. Right.
And I still continue to push that line because, it's just like me and Earl. Me and Earl sit on the phone and we pray. A lot of time we pray, man. You know what I mean? Because, you know, they see us in this entertainment world, and yeah, this is the entertainment business. You can do a Denzel Washington Training Day, and you can do a Malcolm X movie.
Right.
But at the end of the day, who you are when the closed curtains and when you go home. Well, I'm Jerry Long Jr., son of a legend.
Right.
That's me. Cocaine is just something it's a stage name. It's a moniker. It's a stage name.
Right.
But at the same time, I pride myself on using everything as a catalyst to really perpetuate those vibes of my family.
Right.
Period.
I said, well, that's most important, family over everything.
Yeah, because I got daughters I got a daughter that's in the music industry now,
Yeah,
and
I was getting ready to ask you, speaking of family,
yeah,
I know you're working with your wife and son
hmm
on your label, Buddy Boy.
yeah,
Um, what is it like working with the family?
ain't nothing like it.
Right.
Man, I done rock stage the best of them. I've been in the studio with George Clinton was saying, when I do them vocals, I was like, that's me. Huh? Did songs with Bootsy Collins, Larry Blackman, besides the youngsters and, you know, say that question again, sorry.
You asking me?
Yeah, what was you saying?
Oh, no, 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 no. I
My
said,
bad.
what was it? What's it like working with your
Oh, yes,
family?
my bad. It's the best thing in the world, man, because I raised my daughter like the movie Young Colombiana to be vicious on that mic.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times she was crying, you know, why I can't come out with an album? Because I would strategically place her on my albums.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel you do artists a disjustice if you don't build up an artist.
Yeah, facts.
And she would cry, and man, I said, no, you're not ready. It's kind of like the movie Kung Fu, snatched the pebble out of my hand. Well, she's snatching that pebble now.
Mm-hmm.
She's Danielson, wax off, wax on, and wax off.
That's all. Yeah.
And that's the most important thing because from an aspect of the business being brutal, I wanted her to understand the brutal side first
Right.
before the creativity.
Right.
Now she comes up to me and be like, Pops, thank you. I'm glad I didn't. Yeah, because you got to experience some things first. But Papa gonna place you and build up your name.
Right.
So she's also on my project. Her name is spelled AANISAH long.
Mm-hmm.
And incredible. She writes her own stuff, very articulative, beautiful. Um, and just a young female boss, man. She's like daddy, like daughter. You feel me? And
Right.
we got a cut on my album, on the new album called The Funk of the Riches of Dr. Kokenstein. 37 songs, 3 albums,
Mm-hmm.
pure funk, soul, hip hop, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the record that Cube is on because I just put out that record. But what makes my stuff is very different is that I took a page from Napster,
Mm-hmm.
actually took a page from Print talking about Napster. And we created our .com site back then when it really wasn't so popular.
Mm-hmm.
And we built up a substantial amount of people and following because I wanted to be able to control my autonomy and independence and control the purse because a lot of artists and a lot of people are spending this money, but they don't get it back because of the .00 fuckery on the streaming.
Right.
So I built up that meta database and the project is doing good because you can only exclusively get the new cocaine project on my site at www.bude as in Eric, BOY, music.com. And to play the devil's advocate, I do mess with the streaming, but instead of them dangling the meat over my head, I do it right back just to revert to my website. It's very imperative that artists must sit down for a second, put the blunt down, read a couple tutorials. It's 86,400 seconds in a day, pimping. Don't tell me you don't have no time.
Right.
You feel me? And I made time to learn at a time when it wasn't popular. And you got to be able to, in an optimistic way, use your vision to be
Mm-hmm.
able to see ahead what's going on. And God gave me that discernment to my wife and myself and my children. Said, when we start our label, we want to be able to control it, leave the stocks to the family. I got my publishing back now that's left to the family because it's about empowering the next youth. What
Right.
would I be being a Michael Jordan on and trying to go on the court without putting a fresh pair of legs like Kobe or LeBron?
Facts.
It's tribal. So when it comes to my family, it's tribal. It's following the ancestors. People forgot about the ancestors in this internet generation.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing that reverts back, everything comes back full rotation. And now the music of substances is coming back, shows is coming back, performances is coming back. And the OGs is killing them right now. You can go to any of the shows and they're packing them in because at the end of the day, people want to, have a good time, go bump a bad one, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, and get to work and sip on their mud the next day.
Right.
And that's what it's coming back, the positive part of hip hop. And, you know, with Kendrick doing his thing, it's just a pleasure to see a young man like that that has respect for the OGs that lead by example. He don't have that Jacquees attitude. I'm gonna go up to Keith Sweat and say this. No, that perpetuates
I'm the
insecurity.
king of R&B.
Okay.
Listen,
Yeah.
but I feel what you're saying, man. It's like, when I first heard Kendrick,
Hmm.
like, oh, this boy, this he on some other shit. Like just the way
Yeah.
his wordplay, the way
Yeah.
his voices that he used, his cadence.
Yeah.
he used
Yeah,
was just totally different when he came out at that time. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
And he
everybody,
learned that from us, man. He'll tell
yeah.
you.
No, you could tell he's a student of the game. You could tell.
Hmm.
Like, but even
Okay.
Drake, him and Drake, when I realized he was going Drake, him and Drake had that beef and they was going against each other. I was like, Drake gonna lose this one because Kendrick, he's gonna be on a whole nother level,
Yep.
right? Because he's just that type of artist who's engulfed in the culture and understands
Mm-hmm.
where he comes from and is consciously, tapped in. Not too many
Right.
artists like that.
Right.
Not too many artists are tapped in like that. Um, so real quick, I'm gonna shoot you these rapid fire joints real quick, and see what you got for me.
Okay.
3 words to describe cocaine.
Um, classy, uh, teacher, businessman.
Okay, okay. One bar that changed your life. A
Um,
song that changed your life.
uh, Fuck the Police by NWA.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah.
Big. That when that came out, we was on the East Coast sitting there like this. What did he just say? And then we just saw, all the turmoil, happen after that. You know what I mean? But
Right. Right.
that was a big one for us too. Say something to young artists stuck in the algorithm.
Get out the box, man. Get out the jack in the box. You know what I mean? Get out your comfort zone. Put the
Right.
blunt down for a second. Read some tutorials. Like I said before, it's 86,400 seconds in a day, pimping. Don't tell me you ain't got enough time to go ahead and do it. But, all sperm cells don't get to the egg, Playboy. So make sure, you go past the squiggly wigglies and stay consistent to get to where you need to get to.
Facts, facts.
Learn about it first.
Yeah. Listen, they said if you want to hide something from 'em, put it in a book, you know?
Yeah. Hidden in plain sight.
Yes, sir. All right, last question. Finish the sentence. Without G-Funk, there would be no
Wouldn't be no West Coast explosion like that.
right.
North was always on the independent, like with Too Short and everybody. Um, but it wouldn't be no West Coast explosion like that. NWA said it all. Ruthless said it all. Without G Funk, it just would be no Warren G, wouldn't be no Snoop, wouldn't be, after Dre locked in. You got to realize that NWA albums was different. It was done on the SP-12, so Dre was considered our West Coast bomb squad.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
then it kind of slowed down. We put the funk on it. We put some Dayton's on the mothership. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And came up with the G-Funk. So you got to think about it in terms of that. That particular genre is well over in the billions of dollars.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't be none of that.
Nah, I appreciate you. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you, man, pulling up on Keeyzo's Corner. It was a great interview. Um, Looking forward to hearing more of your stuff and seeing what you got going on. I know Schizo, you said something about Schizo got a
Hmm.
project coming out.
Yeah, project is out. We out here promoting my new artist.
Mhm.
His name is The Real Schizo, and he has a single out called Well Connected with the remix featuring Corrupt and included myself and the East Siders.
Mhm.
But he got a project coming out called Asylum. It's an incredible project. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? That'll be coming out soon. But prior to that, he also had another single dropping, two more singles in the pipeline prior to dropping this Asylum Volume 1 record. He
Mhm.
got one with Project Pat coming, and he has a song called Really Touching Home with foster children and different things like that called Fatherless Child. So
Right.
he'll be coming soon, man. After we hit this New York trip, we've been ahead to Colombia and get it in, brother. And that's what we out there doing, man. Boots on the ground, crush groove, and all that, man. It's an old school remedy. Why fix it if it ain't broke?
No, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So to let them know where they can find you at.
I'm easy to find. You can hit me on Instagram at KOKANE underscore OG underscore. It's real simple. Anybody that need the features, make sure you come with the right bread. I'm always easy to work with. And add your name to the list of 4,391 features, man. Let's go.
I appreciate you, bro. Listen, appreciate you pulling up on Keeyzo's
Yeah.
Corner. Another episode in the can, y'all. We out.
Shout out to my main man, Mike, too.
All right, Burrell in the
Let's
building.
go.
All right,
My guy.
all right.
100. Yeah.
Peace.